Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the chat table. It's your girl Ashley Rochelle. We are coming to you live, guys. Um, I wanted to just say welcome. Thank you for tuning in, guys, and we're jumping straight into this conversation. So I had mentioned it, I believe, to one of my relatives the other day that I felt like once again Black people were used as pawns to get Democrats or Republicans, whomever, into office once again, and we're being left behind. I stand tall on that, and I always am until I see real change. That's not to say that there are not any, politicians who are out there fighting for us, but the majority of them who are truly fighting for us, guys, are not in the limelight. Okay? The ones who are in the limelight are kind of selling us out, or they're in it for their own money. We all know that now, today, Biden is president. And I made a list here of top 10 Biden priorities. And again, as I stated, I feel like Black people are left out. We're going to read the executive orders that are in place. This is 3 out of 17 executive orders that are signed. The first one was to rejoin the WHO, World Health Organization. I'm kind of, sided on that as to how I feel. There are things that, we hear and see and read in the news about some kind of form of corruption or treason, I guess, that happened with this virus and how it got here. So I feel, a little conflicted on that one. The second one was to revoke the permits of the Keystone XL oil pipeline. I have no clue about that, really. I'll do more research in it, but that's number 2, guys. The third one was ask federal agencies to extend eviction and foreclosures through March 31st. I feel like they could have did a little longer for people. I'm not in that situation, but I do know people who are, and I believe that they could have did something just a little bit longer for our people. That's Americans, that's whomever. I feel like they could have did something better. Number 4 was to ask the education development to extend the federal student loan payments. Yeah, you guys can do that. I feel like that kind of affects more non-Blacks right now than anything. Yeah, it will help some of us. It will. I went to school the other day, and some of the girls were saying, like, he may take off $10,000 or whatever. I'm like, that's cool, whatever. Anything that we can, get, we'll take that. I still feel on that one. It works better for other people, maybe not the African American community, but it's better than nothing. So I'll take that. Number 5, place a temporary. I don't know. How do we pronounce this word, guys? Let's see. Sorry, guys. We are going more. Hold on, because I don't want to pronounce it wrong, guys. I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
Moratorium.
Okay, on oil and gas leasing. Okay, I guess. Not really sure about that either. The next one is to moratorium. Okay, remember that word. The next one, number 6, began to reverse more than 100 actions Trump took to roll back environmental regulations. I don't know too far into that subject as well, but reading it, seeing it, even when you look it up and you read a few things in the news, it kind of just seems like he's just doing it as a way to erase Trump's legacy, I guess. Sorry, thought I had something on me. Yes, guys. Have my wine today. We have Pinot Grigio via Mora, I guess. Ad plugin sometime soon. They'll come to me. But yeah, just drinking a little Pinot Grigio. It's for adults, guys. Drink safely. Drink responsibly. So, yes, begin to reverse more than 100 actions Trump took to roll back environmental regulations. Yes, again, as I was stating before the plugin, that sounds to me like, he's just trying to reverse everything. Like, I guess, I don't know if there was so much hatred between them or whatever. I'm not really sure. But that's what it sounds like to me. Again, we're still talking about Black people being left out. Okay? Number 7, to rescind Trump's 76 commission and revoke Trump's order limiting diversity training. Not for Black people. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Number 8, stop all construction of wall border. Not for Black people. Number 9, last one, reverse Trump's directive to exclude undocumented and immigrants from the census numbers. Not for Black people. I literally read all of them to you guys. You can Google them, whatever, and see these things out there. And I had a conversation with one of my homegirls just a couple of minutes ago, and I had, wrote a message, and I was like, Biden's in office now, and I feel like Black people got slapped in the face. They're going to help the immigrants, and they're going to do, worry about the pipeline and the wall and this and that. Like, what happened to us Americans? Better yet, what happened to us Black people? Because when I do my podcast, guys, I'm sorry. I have many friends, Chinese, Russian, Indian, Spanish, African, whomever. But when I do this podcast, because I'm not even on the podcast right now, when I do the chat table, this is educating Black people. Because we're so lost. And I said it to my friend, not for nothing, Trump and Biden are both white supremacists. Trump's, I believe his father was a white supremacist. Biden's mentor's last name Byrd, B-Y-R-D, white supremacist as well, affiliated with the KKK. We as Black people are not realizing we're fighting for people who really don't give a damn about us, and they're showing us in our faces. How many of you all heard the leaked conversation of Biden having the meeting with the civil rights leaders sometime in December? Did you guys hear that? No? Because they didn't want us to hear it. Because when people like Ayanna Pressley, I believe her name is, got up and spoke and told him in his executive orders that he is allowed to put in place, just like Trump did, to stop chokeholds and things like that. She let him know what his job was that he can do with these executive orders. Where you can, and this is what she said to him. Go and Google the conversation, guys, because it's out there. You won't see it on mainstream media because they don't want you to know certain things. But I do a lot of reading and a lot of research, and I found it out. And there's a lot of blogs that are actually out there talking about it, but they don't get the shine that TMZ and all these other places do. When they told him that he can put in executive orders as the president of the United States of America, you can put in executive orders to have like all cops have some like national system or, something like that. He literally told them, well, I'm not going to do that. You guys need to stop asking me if I'm going to do that. I don't want to talk about that. It's already bad enough that they think we're trying to defund the police. You didn't want to talk about some of these questions. I said to one of my friends, he's coming in, and my son, he's coming in, and he's gonna help immigrants. He's gonna help this. And one of my homegirls got really defensive, like, you're just talking about Mexicans, blah blah blah. And I was like, I never once said Mexicans. I never once said Indians or Africans or whatever. But when people hear immigrant, if they are, I guess, of some other type of descent, they'll get defensive. I don't know if it was the wordplay or whatever, but I'm like, there's black people who come here as immigrants as well. I know. And they get in the system. I've spoken on this before. I had to take a step back and learn some things as to why family members who do come here illegally and they find up eventually getting their citizenship, they do go back home and tell their family members, don't come here illegally. It's not worth it. There's so many ways that you can come to America legally. That's a fact. You sign up for the army, you get granted citizenship. And some people be like, well, I don't want to do that, but you want to come to the country. I do feel like that should be at any place. If you want to come to some place, that's like me saying I want a Russian citizenship, but I don't want to be in the army. Why am I coming here? And I'm not just saying that. It's as an example. There are ways to do things legally. So why put yourself in a situation where you can be taken advantage of, not being paid as much or anything like that? I think we do have a right to say that. I don't want my uncles or whoever from other countries coming here illegally, and they can't even do certain things. But you can go get some food stamps or something where you're on the system. That's wrong. America tells all these people, come, hey guys, come, and they screw them. No, come here legally so America can't fuck you in your ass no more. And I stand on that. But again, back to the topic at hand. Where in his executive orders, guys, did he talk about anything for black people? And I come on here and I speak about this because so many people say, okay, let's wait and give him time. You have 47 years already. It's day one. 4 more hours, 3.5 more hours. That's day one already. You're in office. How much more time do you need to start doing something for us? I didn't know that you can put an executive order to have like some type of system with all the police officers or something like that. If you can do that to help our people, why not do that? But then that's where the other part, we as black people, we have to stop running to the slave master with our hand out thinking that they're going to do something for us right away. We have to start doing for ourselves. There are so many politicians who I started following and I've never heard of their names before. And they stand and speak on a lot of things that we are fighting for. Real shit. But they don't get the time of day. How many of you guys heard about the Capitol building and a lot of the African American politicians who were serving and working that day were told by text to arrive early, to not travel around anywhere, but to use the underground tunnels because we know that they have them, guys. Hell, New York got some. Central Park. But some of the old train stations, FYI. But these black politicians were told to arrive early, don't use any of the main exits or anything, but use your emergency switch. Did y'all know that more than half of those black people's switches, the electric devices were pulled out of the wall? This is why I say that Trump and Biden are both white supremacists. Yes, I've said it before. I've supported both of some of their policies because if we do live in a world where we have to go and vote for people and speak on these things, if we do live in a world like that, that's like that, we need to, we have to learn about this. And I've always stated it before. I'm not ashamed to say that I support many different things that I do believe in, and I'm entitled to that. Like I just had to break it down to my friend. She asked me if I'm, support Biden or Trump, and I said I don't support either. But if I have a conversation with someone and tell them I don't support abortion, oh, she's a Trump supporter. No, I'm not. Many Latino and Black people, we are aborting our children because we're not teaching our children to have safe sex, to be abstinence. We're not even teaching them to wait anymore. That was sacred. We don't even teach that anymore, guys. They're using it as a contraceptive and they're aborting their babies higher than anyone, especially Black people, but we only make up 13%. I'm not against it, but we shouldn't be using it as a contraceptive. I think that it needs to be monetized, and I stand on that. Reversing Trump's directive to exclude immigrants from the census. I support what Biden is doing. Yes, immigrants make up a lot, especially where I'm at right now in Washington Heights. It's a lot of people over here who are immigrants, and they make the money over here. They shouldn't be excluded. Why? That's money for our communities. So that's supporting both. I support some of their policies. I don't support them because they both were mentored by white supremacists. It is what it is. All of them have. But again, we as Black people have got to stop saying, oh, Master's gonna finally come and help me all the way. No, he's not. You ran your campaign on how Black lives matter. You had us scared in these streets for months. How our lives were so at stake if we passed a police officer or a white supremacist, which he's a part of. We would get killed and our videos would go viral and all of this stuff. What did you do for Black people? Okay, maybe you helped us stay in our project complexes by not evicting us until March 31st, or some of our homes that we're owning that are by a grace of God that we own them, because we know how the real estate market goes, how the banks go. They don't look to cater for Black people. They have to a little now. They don't look forward to doing that though, so we still get the bottom of the barrel. That's what I need y'all to understand. I'll have white friends, Haitians, Chinese, Spanish. I can't even name everyone because I just see us as humans, and that's honest and that's real. Gay, straight, trans, I don't know. We're human. But when I get on this podcast, when I get on this YouTube, I'm talking about my Black people. And I'm gonna always stand tall on that. Always. That's not Black supremacy. That's not, no. I'm sticking up for mine. I'm gonna always stick up for my people. Whether they like it or they don't agree with everything that I have to say, that's okay. And that's another thing that as Black people, we have to understand it's okay to disagree with each other. This is why we're in the world that we're in right now. They always preach and Black people don't never stick together. We don't. We don't even learn. We don't even know how to disagree with each other and say it's okay. I don't have to agree with you. You still my brother. You still my sister. We don't even know how to do that anymore. I really just wanted to come on here, guys, because it was really bothering me. And it still is. We as Black people, you know what? You know how many white people I saw that were saying that they were leaving the Republican and the Democratic Party after the riot at the Capitol? Do you know how many of them are saying that? You know how many white people go on YouTube and type in how many, not how many, but go on YouTube and type in Biden's top 10 priorities reviews. Type that in and you'll see how many white people are doing it from their home like I am and are just talking real out their heart. Like, yo, hey, what you do for black people? I'm not ever, dismissing racism or hatred because we know that it's out there. There was a movie I saw about the KKK. I think I saw it on YouTube or Netflix, but I really think it was on YouTube. And I saw a movie about the KKK members in some state, and it was real recent too, like last 3-4 years. The KKK members were, you followed them around in their neighborhood, stuff like that. They live in a regular rinky-dinky state, whatever, small little town. We see those all over. They still get up and go to work with black people because they do know how to coexist. They might not really have to like you, but we know how to coexist. So I'm not ever dismissing, any form of racism because I know it's out there. I told y'all the first time, not so long ago, last year, my Spanish neighbor called me a nigger. And I was like, she called me a nigger? You take my nigger educated ass and keep it moving. But yes, that was the first time I ever dealt with some racism in my life. And I grew up in a predominantly, but not all white neighborhood. Never in my life I had somebody call me a nigger before. I did when I came to New York City for my Spanish neighbor. And so, oh, okay. I'm educated and I'm going to keep on moving. So again, it's not ever dismissing it. We've got to be able, as just people and just more so the black community, to understand it's okay to disagree. But again, we're in this. Did Biden do anything for black people? But we chewed Ice Cube up and called him a coon for taking a phone call with whoever he can get one with to actually do something for the black community. We chewed our brother up. Damn, Ice, I don't respect you for going to Trump or whatever. Shit, if the nigga gave you a phone call, take it. You try and help us. I don't agree with what you did, but if it's to help us in the end, I salute you. What happened to that, guys? But we waiting on them to keep telling them they're going to do something for us. I wish I could find the interview real quick with Kamala Harris. And many of us who are black do understand that she is not really black. But I won't go into that because they're going to chew me up. She was asked about, I think, reparations for black people. And she said in her interview, I really can't do anything. Not one. I really can't do just one thing that's going to help black people. I have to do something that's going to benefit all of us. So that meant in her statement, I wish I could find it, but I don't want to keep going off of camera. And she was sitting down with a guy and she was talking about it. Let me see if you guys can hear this. I think this is the interview.
Try online work and
I'm not sure if you guys can hear this.
Unlike traditional calendars, right?
We're going to skip. I'm going to see how soon.
Do you support reparations for black people?
Well, listen. Again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists.
She's fumbling too much for me. It's a simple yes or no.
We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country.
That's not enough for me.
And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a
By default. Y'all understand that?
But no, if you...
No. And I hope that y'all heard her interview. I hope that y'all heard it. I'm still trying to get with this YouTube stuff to be able to share my screen and do all of that stuff. I'm still learning. But listen to what she said. Even the news reporter asked her again, wait, so by default, it'll help Black people. Not out of your kindness of your heart are you going to sit there and write, this is for African Americans, or this is for, just Black people or brown people. She said that out of her mouth. By default, something is going to affect us. That's not enough for me. Not when you run your campaign on how much Black lives mattered. That's what I want y'all to understand. It's not never nothing against immigrants or nothing like that. No. Y'all don't get a pass before us. And I'm going to always stand on that. I'm sorry. I'm going to drink on that one. I stand tall and strong on that. Nobody should ever come before the Black community when it comes time to give something back. By default, we'll be getting maybe a tax bracket. And she said she was proposing that. That interview was from 2019. 2019, February 24th. It's never spoken about again, not that I heard of. The LIFT Act. But again, we chewed up our brother Ice Cube, who was putting out positive movies out there for our generation and our kids. And we slept on him a little bit until he did shit like Friday and Barbershop. We slept on him a little bit. And y'all trying to kick that man down right now. Everybody was like, oh, LeBron he opened up a school. Okay. Oh, yeah, he did do that. Selected few are able to go to those schools. Let's not get it twisted. It's not any and everybody can just get up and go to those schools. Diddy, I believe he opened up a school out here. He's supposed to have 30 schools in New York City. Automatically. But he raped the Black community as well. You're still going to buy Ciroc, though. Whatever new type of thing he got out, y'all going to buy that. When is somebody doing something that's actually really affecting the Black community and we're really uplifting and winning from it? Okay. Once again, like I said, when I come on the chat table, when you tune into the chat table, yes, this is a documentary or not. Sorry, my kids just threw me off when they said documentary. Go, guys. This is... Stop. Hold up. Wait a minute. Rewind. When you tune into the chat table, yes, this is a platform where I'm going to be speaking and educating my Black people. Yes, I am. I don't care who don't like it.